Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Astrological Interviews. I am your host, Alex Reevy, along with my beautiful astrologically divine mother.
I'm Sandy Reevy.
And we brought on a special guest today, Kristie Kiki Splivalo. She is the studio assistant manager at Yoga on the Lake, located none other than Destination Kohler, Wisconsin.
And we are going up there December 8th. It's a Saturday from 2:30 to 5:30. And you and I, Alex, are hosting a astrological talisman making workshop.
So we wanted to bring Kiki on this astrological interview to find out who is this studio assistant manager that's going to be helping us schedule all of these attendees and welcome us into Yoga on the Lake, which I hear is absolutely breathtakingly beautiful. So if you want to get tickets to this incredible astrological talisman making workshop, email us info@intentionbeads.com or head to our website intentionbeads.com/events. So with no further ado, let's welcome on Kristie Kiki Splivalo.
You got the keys. You got the keys. You got the keys. You got the keys.
Here we are on our astrological interview. We have a very special guest here today. Well, actually over the wavelengths, calling from Wisconsin and Yoga on the Lake. We have Kristie Splivalo.
Kiki, I want to call her Kiki.
AKA Kiki. We love Kiki. So yeah, I just want to give you a quick introduction to all of our listeners. You manage the Yoga on the Lake, which is a yoga studio that's in the Destination Kohler, Wisconsin, and everyone knows Kohler because
everyone knows.
You've had very personal moments with Kohler. Everyone knows Kohler. All the time, every day. So whether you're washing your hands or you're running to the bathroom, all those faucets that we all know, Kohler, this is that same place. This is that same manufacturer. So I just wanted to give that quick shout out, quick introduction. I know that you are, very studied within your yoga hours, as well as, being the blogger, being the yogini, the adventurer, and you even have your own personal website and blog, omwithlove.me.
I do. Om with Love. I don't really know where it came from, but it just kind of popped into my brain while I was going through teacher training, and it's kind of stuck.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I like it. And
thank you.
Cool. So, and just to remind our listeners, the way that we do our astrological interviews, Sandy, we got Kristie's birth, Kiki. We got Kiki's birth data beforehand, and Sandy's put her information into her astrological software on her computer. And this is going to be the first time that we have somebody on this show that we have not met in person.
Or that I've never done her chart before.
Or ever done her chart before. So this is going to be very interesting. A lot of our listeners are going to be just at least witnessing what it's like for Sandy to take on, a brand new client. And this is going to be very exciting because we'll actually wind up doing your chart even before we officially meet you.
I know, so fun.
So yeah.
So let's Kristie, have you ever seen your chart before?
I have not. This is all brand new for me as well.
So I'll make sure I get this to you. But, by being born on the dates, can I give this over the air, your birth date?
Yeah.
October 27th, 1987. You were born on a Tuesday at 10:15 p.m. in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin.
So October 27th, everyone remember that. Kiki needs her presents.
And this gives you, the Scorpio sun. Now, not only do you have the sun in Scorpio, you have 3 other planets in Scorpio. So this is called a stellium. When one has 3 or more planets in one sign, it's called a stellium. So it's a principle.
And so really quick, Kiki, how much do you know about astrology? And you can be humble or you can brag all you want here.
No, I don't know much. I know that I'm a Scorpio, and that's about as far as that goes.
Okay. So, and this is actually where a lot of our listeners, a lot of our clients start with astrology. And so how we like to teach is that you are not just your quote unquote zodiac sign. So your zodiac sign, and as Sandy just said, is a Scorpio. However, we're talking about your sun sign when we talk about zodiac signs. So it's where the sun was transiting in the zodiac. You also have a moon sign, you have a rising sign, and these might be some, you might have heard of these before, but it's basically those 3, the sun, the moon, and the ascendant or the rising sign are the big trifecta of astrology.
True.
And so now that Sandy's, getting an idea of what your chart is like, you also have 3 planets in Scorpio. So does Scorpio normally, or...
That's 4. She has 4.
Oh, 4.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
even more.
The stellium definition is 3 or more planets in one sign equates to. And it's a principle. It just means that these planets that are 2 of the personal planets of Mercury and Venus, but also Pluto, which is the ruler of the modern ruler of Scorpio. But, have you heard of the mention Mercury retrograde?
Yes.
You have a Mercury retrograde.
Yeah.
Did you?
Okay.
And, and true, Mercury goes retrograde 3 times a year for about 21-ish days per time. So that's a good 80-something days a year that children are born during this time. And so by being born during this October 27th, 1987, you have, and this placement of Mercury so close to the sun, it's considered Kazimi. Now, this is another term that Alex will probably want to break it down.
Always.
Go ahead, break it down.
Okay, so Mercury Kazimi.
Yeah.
The sun is what you said. Okay, so basically when Mercury is in between us and the sun. And so when Mercury crosses in front of the sun and it winds up being kind of sandwiched in between the earth and the sun, it is said to be like burned up by the sun. And that's what Kazimi means. It's like kind of like in direct alignment with the sun.
And the Kazimi means it's within a 17 minute of arc when it's clear. So as it gets really close, it gets combust, that she was saying. It gets very burned because the sun is so hot. But when it goes into the center, so close like yours is, it's very clear. It's almost like the heart of the sun. And so to have this placement, even though it's retrograde, it really is that, the retrograde cycle is about when she was saying this, the planet gets really close to the Earth, it gets confusing. It gets staticky. It's too close for like a tune-in.
And that's where a lot of people get scared of Mercury retrograde, like it's some terrible thing happening because communication is a little bit off and things just wind up either, kind of technology breaks apart or words and promises kind of break apart.
Right. And so I see this. So as this is your natal placement, my question is, when you were a young girl, when you were younger in elementary school, this would have been the place where you would have had the kind of the biggest hiccup, where you had to maybe put processes in order using flashcards. It just was that you can bring in the information into your brain, to your memory, and to the thought, but you had trouble perceiving, which means that it was hard for you to express answers, where you like to understand definitions or the spelling of long words when you were in, early age, elementary. But
okay. Yeah.
Can you?
I have always been a flashcard girl.
Right. And it's the memory. You had to go by memory because the perception of it, you couldn't really do the understanding of expressing it. However, you were pulling it in, all that data in throughout these periods. And what happens with the Mercury retrograde babies, that when they mature, and let's call you mature, when you mature, you have built in a systematic way that you organize things. Mm-hmm. And so when Mercury goes retrograde in the sky for everyone, which is happening next Friday, the 16th, Mercury retrograde never affects you. Can you comment on that?
I guess you always see, especially, now in the world of social media, you see, Mercury in retrograde all over the place when it's about that time. And I guess I've always been very in tune to how I'm feeling at different times of year and such, but I've never quite had anything vast come up during those times. So I never quite understood even what it meant.
Right. So you
lucky
you.
It truly is. You had the issues when you were younger.
Oh yeah.
Right. So that would have made you maybe a little bit more shy, a little bit more internal, where you weren't expressing some things because you were just uncertain whether you knew them properly or not.
I was always such a shy person, and I think I still am. So that's kind of funny.
Right. But it's for a different reason now, because you have these 4 planets in Scorpio. Scorpio is the sign, it's the most powerful sign. It's the placement of transformation. So, Jupiter has just finished this last year hitting all of your Scorpio planets. And Jupiter is the planet of expansion. So there may have been some internal, I don't know if I want to call it secrets or issues or situations that you may have wanted to either sweep under the rug or have swept under the rug years ago, where Jupiter just says, you have to let the light in. You have to bring up some uncomfortable, hidden. You have to go downstairs where there's no light and bring your flashlight and look into the corners of the catacombs in the scary basement. Can you kind of this last year for you? You're finished with this, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Good.
And I have many Scorpio clients, and Jupiter is the planet of expansion and brings benefits. It's one of the benefics. But when it goes through the sign of Scorpio, it wants to churn up and transform some of the waste that is still around. So it's really asking you to let go of stuff.
That's crazy.
Right. So, you've had
I also want
this whole year.
I want to hear a little bit from Kiki.
Because here I go. I talk too much. I get so super excited.
No, and I'm trying to process. So it's kind of crazy. So I just turned 31 because it was just my birthday.
Happy birthday.
And thank you. Last year, obviously, I turned the big 30, and I was super excited to turn 30 because my 20s were tough, super tough. I feel like there was a lot of kind of looking within myself and trying to figure myself out. I had gone through quite a bit, kind of bouts of depression and self-harm, and I abused prescription drugs and contemplated suicide. So I've had a lot of kind of darkness and things that I've gone through that I kind of had to explore myself and try and figure out where to go from there. So, and that was all, I'd say, just within these last few years that I've really allowed myself to explore those parts of myself. And like you said, kind of let the light in.
Yeah. And a true metamorphosis, where that gelatinous phase is tough, but then what it becomes later.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just finished in 2013, 2014, 2015, the planet Pluto has been transiting your moon in a conjunction to your moon. This is a transforming your childhood, transforming your connection to mom, your home, your feelings. It really is about, where are your roots? How deep are the roots? Are they being nurtured? Are they being fed? So that's was a couple years ago, 4, 5, 6 years ago, and that part's completed.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, that part's completed.
Woohoo! Shine that light.
Yeah,
shine that light.
And so let's go to and also the Saturn. The transiting Saturn has been on your Neptune and your moon all last year. Well, even this year. It kind of came in about January of this year. And Saturn is the planet of limitations. It's the authority figure. It says, you're willing to do hard work. Now, you like to do hard work. There's an emotional affinity for you for ambition.
Yeah.
You have to do it through creative means. If you don't, you're going to feel unfulfilled and less productive.
Yes. Yes. I've always been I've always needed some sort of creative outlet.
But some people don't think that a creative outlet is successful, right? I mean, let's just kind of be real, right? Yeah. Because your moon being in Capricorn, by the way, your moon's in Capricorn, that this gives you that hard work ability, that emotional connection, your feelings, like you like to do. You'd be good at starting a home business, home project, because you like to do work at home.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I'm a homebody for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And Saturn's been going through there, so there's been some sort of creativity have been. Let's just say kind of limited, yet has allowed you to build something from that in this 2018 year. Mm-hmm. So you're still in it. It's just finishing up with you. It'll be done in the next few months. But this is a brilliant time to kind of hone in on what it is, gives you that foundation, that drive to do something new, to hone in on something. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
Instead of feeling limited and saying, oh, I can't do that. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, gosh, that door's locked. I can't do that. Can't get the window open. Instead of feeling that way, what's been going on this year for you is to say, hone it in. You can't do everything. You're not to do everything.
Yeah.
Because, universe has a really good plan for us. And oftentimes we have our mind has a better idea than universe does.
Of course.
And that's the hard part of control. So you have a little bit, you got a control that moon in Capricorn has, you like a little control.
Well, thank goodness, because she's she helps manage yoga on the lake. We like that.
Yeah. And so your rising sign, let's get to that. Your rising sign, what's coming up over the horizon when you took your first breath is Cancer. Okay. So this makes you have the skin that you wear to the world, very nurturing. People come to you because they want your assistance. They need you to help them. Yeah. I get goosebumps when I say this because it's really what you said you wanted. I believe as an astrologer that the date, the time, the place, the parents, the socioeconomic, the everything that you chose this, and especially the astrology chart, this blueprint, natal chart, birth chart, whatever you want to call it, as your direction in life.
Yep.
Right. And then we're born and then we're like, well, hell, what the hell was that about? Right. Because we're brand new, we're babies and we don't know. And we just have to go through, being conditioned, through our parents or our teachers or our grandparents or whatever that is, or, funds, financial. But then we get this intuition. You have incredible intuition.
I do.
I want you to recognize that because
how do I not know who you are?
Right? Like, no, but see, you've got that Mercury retrograde. So I really want you to learn the trust of it.
Yeah.
You were just given a big gift this last year with Jupiter crossing that, even though it would have, kind of taken the big like witches
Cauldron
and the big, stick that stirs what's underneath to bubble up on top. This is the brew or the potion that you can use to help you emerge from the deep dark. Does that make sense? To emerge. Yeah. We're having the new moon in Scorpio. This is hitting your Pluto and your Venus. So this is happening on tomorrow morning. This is going to be, So for you could set an intention about how you want to bring up your psychic abilities, your in Scorpio, this is the darkest, deepest place. You could bring that up. I mean, you can go down deep. You have 2 planets in Sagittarius. I'll talk about that in a second. Because, after Scorpio, the next sign is Sagittarius. Mm-hmm. And so when the Pluto likes to go down to the deep quicksand, and Sagittarius likes to go high, far, wide, and international. It likes to go global. So they're 2 opposite placements of, staying within self, and then going, I'm going to get the hell out of here. I need my freedom. Mm-hmm. And so your freedom, there's something about your freedom when you were a child that was in lack, meaning that maybe there was a parent or some structure that said, no, you weren't allowed to have your freedom because you really need freedom. Mm-hmm. Can you comment on that?
I don't know. That one's a little bit more tough. I mean, my parents were always very, they let us kind of do our thing and explore ourselves in our own ways, which I would say is pretty free. I don't feel like they ever held us back in any way.
You have the planet Saturn conjunct Uranus. And Uranus is the planet of the sudden change, the spontaneity, incredible freedom. It's the brilliance. It's Uranus is the rules of Aquarius. And it's about airwaves. It's about thinking out of the box, right? It's the freedom to just download new information like aha moments. And so as you have that freedom, Saturn sits right next to it and says, not now. Did you do your work? Did you get that done? So usually that's a parent that says, holds that back, which as we mature, because Saturn always moves and works better and more effective when Saturn is mature, because Saturn is the planet of the timekeeper. It's the Chronos, and says that with a lot of hard work, you can have your freedom. You can do your work. And this is what you just said earlier, Kiki, about that you don't know where that came from. Like you said, when I turned 30, I didn't know where all of a sudden I'm blogging and I'm writing and I'm doing some of these things that I've got my own website. This is that Saturn, transiting Saturn, hit your Saturn at age 29-ish and then hit that Uranus. This is where that came in, as going, oh my gosh, I'm responsible for my freedom. Mm-hmm. Now that could be the other expression of this versus, parental control over what you can do and what you can't do. The other expression of that is I'm in charge of what I do and I'm in charge of what I don't do. Yeah. So if I can ground that and put in a self-control around being different, right? Like there's a feeling of you to say, I'm unique and my thoughts come in and I'm going to use this through my work.
That's crazy.
Does that make sense?
I think when I wrote my first blog post, I think I was like late 28.
Okay. That would have been right around that Saturn. Saturn we get first of all, Saturn is a 29-year cycle, but it can happen between 28 and 30 because Saturn does retrograde. All planets retrograde, by the way, Kiki. except for the sun and the moon. But when we get our first Saturn return, means Saturn comes around and hits that Saturn for the first time around that 28 to 29. But at the same time, it hit your Uranus. So it says anything that you're thinking about needs to be put on the airwaves, needs to be expressed through your work, and you're actually helping other people aspire to their goals, and you're aspiring to yours at the same time. It's like by writing, you can relive your experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's insane.
This is really important how you teach, right? Because you're a teacher. This is like you're this like brilliant woo-woo teacher is really what you are.
Thank you.
but very much cares about other people and draws people. You want to protect those that you love, that protect your family, protect your tribe, protect
That's that rising
right.
sign she's talking about.
You want to protect the people that you're responsible for, because you have a lot of you have the ability to pull on a lot of responsibilities.
That moon in Capricorn.
Yeah, it's funny. So my family, they call me, we call my mom Mama Bear, and I've always been Baby Bear because you never want Baby Bear's claws to come out.
Yep. Yeah.
If they come out, it's why people need them to come out.
Right. Well, and because you will, it's, because your rising sign being Cancer is the crab, right? It's the hard shell with the pinchers, can go sideways, backwards, down the hole, but it's very mushy and warm inside, Yeah. So that's kind of that protection, that hard shell, and that you'll take care of your tribe, your family.
Yeah.
So, yeah, those are some of the really big things that are going on. In your chart, Uranus, transiting Uranus is going through your 10th house of career. This means this has been here for a while. It's probably been here for about 5 years, where when Uranus transits the 10th house of career and profession, it changes something. That there was an erratic change maybe 4 or 5, 6 years ago where you were on another path.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, 4, 5, 6 years ago. Yeah, I think it was right about that time. So I had kind of gone to school for something very opposite of what I'm doing. So I was kind of in that career path and wasn't happy, and I wasn't really sure what to do. And I think it was right around that. It might have been like 6 or 7 years ago that I took a massive plunge and jumped into something very opposite of what I had gone to school for, just kind of crossing my fingers and hope that it worked out.
Yeah, because anytime Uranus moves in across what's called an angle, there are 4 angles in our chart. The angle that it hit was the career and the public recognition. It's kind of like the pedestal you stand on where everyone can see what you do in the world. And that changed erratically. And, you have natally, you have Jupiter in the 10th house. So this means that really whatever you choose to do, Kiki, you're going to be blessed doing it. There's fortune, there's abundance, there's prosperity in anything you do. So that's a really beautiful, and you're not afraid of hard work. You're not afraid.
No, no, never.
Yeah, that's pretty nice right there. Do you have any questions?
No, man, I'm scribbling things down as quickly as I can because I feel like I'm going to have to come back to this and soak it all in because it's so much. Well,
you can listen to your own podcast.
I know. I'd have to do it 10 times for soak it all in, but it's crazy how accurate it is.
I have a question. Yeah. I have a question for you.
Yeah, please.
Are you in a relationship?
Yes, I'm married.
You're married. You've got what's called the nodal axis is crossing your ascendant and descendant. And so I would just ask you for the next month or two to see who comes into your field because this North Node is hitting your ascendant. Ascendant is your surroundings. It's your environment. It's, when you walk into a room, this is the ascendant. Pay attention to important people that are coming into your world.
Okay.
Because what she's getting at, this is like kind of like a soul tribe member that's coming in a different, possibly a different form, and somebody that will get you back on your path, or tell you something that's past life regression,
like a deja vu.
Okay.
I think it could be a person, an experience, a place, because remember, we want to really, you have that psychic ability. So when things come in the next month or two, write them down or pick up your iPhone now that you can go, hey, this just came in. Just A, for the reminder for you. B, so that you can kind of prove to yourself that, wow, something that came in did happen, down the road a little bit. Because this placement of this nodal axis happens every 18 and a half years. And so I want you to just pay attention to it, because it's important enough for me to mention it. It's cool.
Okay.
It's cool.
And I also have a question for Sandy. I was wondering if, I don't know if this is the right time or you're going to have time for this. What about doing since we have the Kohler workshop coming up, could you do a bi-wheel to talk to Kiki about what our workshop is going to be like, or what transits are going to be happening for her during our workshop December 8th?
Well, I don't know how much. I would love to first talk about the like theme of the astrological energy of December 7th.
No, December 8th.
Oh, 8th. Because I see it says here Friday.
For the record, it is December 8th, our workshop at Yoga on the Lake. And while Sandy's pulling up this new chart, I
should know that.
I will share with, all of our listeners that we have seats available, and it's going to be one of our really wonderful, sought after talisman making workshops. So everyone gets to hand, and I don't know how familiar you are, Kiki, with what we do, but we call ourselves intention beads, and we hand make millefiori beads at very specific astrological times. And when we're in person, we are at workshops, people get to hand roll their own talismans, and it's very cool.
That is very cool. I can't wait.
They set their own affirmations. We do a ceremony around it. We carry our oven up. Yeah, we carry our oven up everywhere we travel.
Bring your own oven.
We bring our oven. And then everyone walks home with a talisman based on the energy that we're having. We'll be in the new moon energy of Sagittarius. Mm-hmm. So on this day, I know we're starting at 2:30. Am I correct about that?
Yes.
Okay, 2:30. And, Venus will have just a couple weeks earlier gone direct after her retrograde cycle. Mercury's direct now. We have got all of the personal planets are in direct motion, and they've really been retrograde when Mars started going retrograde in the summer. So we've had these personal planets retrograde pretty much this entire time from like June all the way to the beginning of December. So this time, our December 8th time, heralds in these personal planets moving direct forward. So that's a nicer little experience or energy to, where the, what is it called? The rubber meets the road, of action, of movement. So if we went to, and then of course the Jupiter, which we'll talk about in the regular podcast, on Thursday, Jupiter moves into his own sign, it's a masculine sign, of Sagittarius, which hasn't happened in 12 years. So we'll be grabbing that energy, which lasts for 1 year, actually 13 months. But That's why we picked this time frame to go up to Kohler, Wisconsin. And just, this is a crazy story. I'm looking at Alex because she's sitting right across from me. But does Kiki know? I've never met Ashley personally.
Me neither.
But, however, my son, Andrew, Alex's brother, Andrew, same kid, and Ashley know each other.
That's crazy.
Here in Chicago when Ashley lived here. And so
I suppose.
Andrew would always say, Mom, you got to, this Ashley Kohler girl, she's doing these yogas and she's doing these events in Chicago. You really need to see if you could do a collaborative with her. And then she moves up to Kohler and, has what now, married and 3 babies.
Married and 3 babies.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now we're going to her. So I thought that, and Andrew, we were talking to him. I said, we're going up to see Ashley Kohler. And he's like,
about time.
Yeah, wow, no. So I just find it interesting.
I said it was meant to be. You were supposed to come here.
Right. I know. I'm loving it. So I'm going to look real quick to see where this energy is for you. You're joining us at the workshop, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm really excited to see Destination Kohler.
It's cool. It looks like a postcard. People don't believe it until they're here.
I'm so excited. And it looks like there's a really beautiful view out of Yoga on the Lake.
Yes. Yeah, we're right on the lake, so it kind of overlooks this little man-made lake that's not stream-fed, like a stream just kind of made its way there. So yeah, very pretty. Especially in December, we'll have all the Christmas lights are on. Hopefully there'll be some around. Oh yeah, it'll be nice.
So what's happening for you? Because what we'll be doing is handing you your chart with this. It's called a bi-wheel. You in the center and the energy of December 8th, 2:30 in the afternoon. You're having the transiting Venus is sitting right on your sun. And this really is about, Venusian qualities, which are, love, beauty, relationships, friendships, pleasure, enjoyment, loving everyone and everyone loving you, having a physical, tangible beauty, like being attractive. So, this, you maybe want to pull in that energy in your talisman because, a talisman is a art object often made out of clay that is made at a certain time for a definite reason by a spirited creator. And I'll explain all that during class, but this class, everyone that has joined is the spirited creator.
Okay.
Right? They call in what they want to achieve. Right? Mm-hmm. So they'll get up in ceremony and say their I am or I feel statement. And what I do with the personal, to make it personal is to see how it connects to the natal chart.
Nice.
The other thing you have on that day is this transiting sun is sitting on your Saturn. So it just really feels like you've got a control over your life. There's a
foundation that you're sitting upon, and it feels good.
Yeah. It's like you can be sitting on a foundation, on a pillar, just being proud. Yeah. It's a success. It's good mental focus. It's good for endurance, patience. It's just like, yeah, I'm good. And I'm beautiful because you can use the Venus on the sun, right?
Oh, hello.
I love it.
Yeah. So those are and then the moon is on your Neptune. So really to be about more artistic, to dreamy, inspired thoughts. This is also, insight and intuition. So, and artistic imagination. Mm-hmm. So there's those 3 big things just as a quick glance.
Yeah. And what Sandy normally does for the workshops, and this is for everyone's chart, goes ahead and looks, we collect everyone's data, and thank goodness you're going to be there helping collect people's data ahead of time.
Like 2 weeks as soon as they join.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I'll talk to you offline about how we do all of that. But this is what Sandy does with every single person's chart. So she'll look at their specific bi-wheel, which is, basically putting two charts together, the transits for the day and then their natal chart, and seeing what is hitting. What are what are major challenges? What are major benefits, in somebody's chart? And we'll write them all together. We'll document everything. And that's pretty much just one of the takeaways that people get from our workshops. It's a lot. Cool. It's a lot of amazing information. And it's a lot of the time when people walk out of our workshop, you just feel validated and you just feel real and you feel present and you feel seen. And it's this really wonderful feeling, where you're just motivated. You're like, okay, here I am. This is my checkpoint. Next, where am I going? Everyone get in the car. Let's go.
In fact, people won't want to leave. So I hope there's not a whole lot of class afterwards, or maybe there is. We got to check on that. What our time frame is.
That's right?
Yeah, it's 2:30 to 5:30. We're going to do a 3-hour astrological bead making workshop.
Yeah, so sign up. The quicker you get in, the faster I can get your birth information and have that prepared. And everybody gets to pick their own color bead. It's a Millefiori bead that I've made, but it's not baked yet. It's not rolled. It's still raw. It's ready for the
ready for your hands.
Invocation of what one claims as their affirmation and intention. So awesome! I'm so excited to meet you now. You're a penetrative, very get to the bottom. You need the honest truth. You need to be. Truth is your key word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honesty. Otherwise, bye-bye.
Oh yeah. No, that's valid. That's very true.
It's really true. And just a really hard worker. So I know one person that's really lucky, and that's Ashley. She has you. I would say, oh my gosh, this Kiki girl, she's going to be intuitive, get to the bottom of things, will know a bullshit story in a second, will know which way to go, and then she'll move it forward for a true expression, and everyone will want to make her happy.
I love it. I'm just as lucky to have Ashley. She helps me. So
good.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, if that was a nice little brush through of a little half hour or so, little reading. Mm-hmm. That was fun.
Oh my God.
They're always fun.
I have so much stuff written down. I wish you could see my piece of paper that I have in front of me.
So maybe you
tag
can take
us
a picture.
On Instagram. We'd love to see it.
And go, can anybody make sense of this?
Yeah, tag us on Instagram. I think I was quickly trying to direct message you on Instagram, but I figured I would just email you just instead. But I saw that you followed us on Instagram, so I'll follow you back and tag us on that picture. That would be amazing.
Yeah, that'd be great.
For sure. I'll have to show you guys those for sure. It's kind of hysterical now that I'm looking at it.
Good. So I also want to give a big shout out to Yoga on the Lake, to Destination Kohler for inviting us to facilitate an astrological bead making workshop. Whoa. So thank you. And also I wanted to give all of our listeners just all of the information right here, right now. So December 8th, and this is in Kohler, Wisconsin. It's Yoga on the Lake, which is at 725 Wood Lake Road. Saturday, December 8th of this year, 2018, at 2:30 p.m. I would, of course, recommend getting your tickets way ahead of time so that we can prepare. We have time to prepare your chart. And guess what? The more time we have to prepare, probably the more information you're going to get.
Whoops.
So definitely head to, let's see, where should they go to get their tickets?
Man, that's a place that probably would either, I think they can still, because we're part of the resort, you can go through the resort website, which is theamericanclubresort.com. Find us on there. Easier would probably be using either the Mind Body online website or the Mind Body online app. Just search for Yoga on the Lake, and then all the information for the workshop is underneath our workshops and events tab.
Awesome. Cool. And what I'm going to do too is update our events page to have all of those links for people. So it's super easy for them to have everything all in one spot. And perfect. I do know that you guys, this must have been a couple months ago, put up an event page on Facebook so they can follow you on Facebook, which I guess is Yoga on the Lake.
Yeah, Yoga on the Lake Kohler. So we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. Yeah, we have the events page on our Facebook. And then I think I'll be getting a little blurb up on our Instagram as well.
Awesome. I'm so excited.
And I know that with Joanne coming up and some of our buds here who go up there and stay for the night, that who was ever listening to this and does come up and either stays or let's plan a little dinner after this.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah. So, if you're coming up, make sure you let us know somehow that we'll include you in and we'll all get a big table and all sit together, maybe talk astrology, maybe not. I don't know. But that we can just get a little big little group together of dinner buddies.
That sounds phenomenal.
Yeah, there's a restaurant like 2 doors down from the yoga studio that they're used to a lot of yogis coming in after workshops.
Perfect.
Good.
They shall be expecting us.
Yes.
I want to know how you met Ashley.
So I actually first met Ashley when she moved back up to Kohler from Chicago to manage Yoga on the Lake. I was still very, very new to teaching, like within my first few months. She moved up here in August, and I think her first class at the studio after moving up here was mine. It was on a Sunday afternoon. I was terrified out of my mind that our new my class. And that was, first time I met her. So that was 3 years ago. And now she's married and 3 babies later.
Wow. I love that.
Will she be on site maybe? Or is she going to be in town? Is she going to be coming to our class?
Oh, I'm sure she'll be popping in and out throughout the weekend.
Because I want to meet her.
All 3 of her babies are under the age of 3, so they keep her very busy. Mm-hmm. I'm sure either herself or her husband, Greg, they'll be popping in kind of throughout the weekend. So I'm sure you'll get to meet her.
Yes,
as well.
I do. I do want her to meet her.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Yeah.
To give her the Chicago shout out. And let's see, if anyone wants to get tickets, I will be 100% happy to send you all of the links. You can always email me at info@intentionbeads.com. Direct message us on Instagram at intention_beads. There's plenty of ways to get in touch with us. And also Yoga on the Lake. They are, as you know, Kiki's going to be able to help you schedule that.
Yeah, Moon in Capricorn. Oh, yeah, she'll take care of it.
Yeah, you might even just go straight to her. I'm going to try and make it too fun with my Moon in Leo. So just go straight to her. And we would love to have you come to our workshop. Yeah, it's going to be a really transformational time. Everything, all the tires are going to be, spinning in the right directions, and we're going to feel motivated and action-oriented towards our goals.
And for the holidays, it's the one Saturday for a couple hours to do something for yourself, with a setting a goal before New Year's Eve, right? Setting a goal for yourself.
Yeah,
and bring friends.
Timing.
Yeah. I mean, it's Destination Kohler. Maybe make it a weekend. It's beautiful. I mean, I've only seen these pictures, but these pictures are absolutely breathtaking. So everyone head to this website. If you haven't heard of Destination Kohler, go to their website right now.
Right.
And it's even prettier as we get closer to the holidays.
Right. It'd be nice to see a little bit of snow after we arrive. Yeah.
Well, Kiki, I want to thank you so much for coming up on our podcast and letting us, give you an astrology reading.
No, so fun. Thank you so much for letting me do this. I can't wait to meet you guys in person. I feel like I need to give both of you a ginormous hug.
I'll take it.
I will too.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you to all of our listeners for listening to this astrological interview with Astrological Intentions.